Joining me now is Illinois Congressman Adam Kinzinger. He's also serves as Deputy Majority Whip. So, Congressman, thank you for joining us tonight on this breaking news. Was this the right move by President Trump?
Absolutely. I know Tom Price. I worked with him in Congress. I commend him on his many years of service, but this had become a massive distraction. And we've got a lot of big things on the president's agenda, on Congress's agenda, and this was a massive distraction from that. In our efforts to make government more efficient, more effective, more working for the people like a 21st century government should, I think it's imperative to say every tax dollar spent needs to be done right. And so this new memo that came out of the OMB to say trips need to be approved by the chief of staff is the right move. And again, it just brings us back to our message again that we're going to be needing to drive over the next few months, which is we need a government that works for America. You
know, a lot of people are confused by that because in the wake of all this, we learned that every single one of these trips by Tom Price were approved by the White House. So you have the White House tonight announcing a change in policy. Will that be enough to stop this sort of behavior?
Well, I think so. And I think people need to understand, you know, in the case of a Secretary of Defense or CIA director in some cases, or even cabinet heads, they may have to use official resources to travel. And sometimes that may be a military plane or in some cases a charter. The problem is, though, when you get into where that's used to go and visit people that you know, and it's overused. And so I think this is a good opportunity. We know this has happened in the past administration, too, as you were just talking about in the lead up. I think this is an opportunity for the president to kind of put a freeze on things, recenter, refocus everybody, and say, let's not get too comfortable in our jobs because we're renting these positions that were offered to us by the American people. We don't necessarily own these positions, so let's get back to our core mission of making this a 21st century government.
So you're suggesting it would have been a distraction had Tom Price stayed on board. But some wondering if this is a distraction having another high-level departure from this administration in the wake of recent departures. The president's got so much on his plate right now, whether it's health care, tax cuts, tax reform. Does this distract from the president being able to tackle his aggressive agenda?
No, I don't think so at all. I think the president's very good at being able to communicate what he wants to communicate in a simple way that people understand. He's been doing a great job in the last few days of talking about the need for tax reform, how it's going to benefit hardworking Americans. And so I think he's going to be able to get on message. This will be a story for a couple days. And again, I really do commend Tom Price on his service. It's unfortunate it had to go down like this because he's a great American. But had this gone on, this would have continued to be a drip, 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 taking the president away and taking Congress away from this really monumental historic thing we have to do, which is revitalize the tax code for the 21st century.
And to your point, the president was very complimentary of him as well. Just a few hours before the announced departure, he kept saying he's a good man, he's a fine man, and he had very nice things to say just a short time before this news happened. Congressman, thanks for joining us tonight.